John here. So in this video I'm going to show you a nice sounding lick, but also just happens to be all the arpeggios in the key of E minor. So by learning these arpeggios in this lick, you will also know the order of the chords in any minor scale. So that's a very important thing to do, and I think this is a fun way to do it. So here's the actual lick. So I'm going to play this slowly once. You have the tabs available as usual. You have a link in the description. But I'm also going to talk you through the actual arpeggios here, or the chords. And we're doing this, as you could see, in reverse. So we're starting with the 1 chord. Then we'll go to the flat 7 and so on. But I'm going to play it slowly once and then break it down for you. Alright, so we start here with the 1 chord, the E minor. And all these are going to be picked exactly the same way. We're going to go upstroke, pull off, up, down, down, down. So that's 6 notes for each arpeggio. So the picking pattern stays the same. So first off we have an E minor here. Then we go to the flat 7 chord. And it's called the flat 7 chord because it's the flat 7 of the key. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7. So 1, flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, and 1. And if you're wondering, what do you mean, why flat? Why not just 7? That's because we're comparing everything to a major scale. And a major scale would only be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1. But since we're in natural minor, we're going to flat the 7, we're going to flat the 6, and we're going to flat the 3rd. So that's the reason why I'm calling them out like this. And also, when you designate chords like this, you don't write it out as you would with intervals. So on the interval of a flat 7, I would just write a small b and a 7, designating flat 7. But when it comes to chord types, you basically use Roman numerals. So this would be still a flat before, then we had V and then 1, 1. So V, I, however you want to look at it. That's 7. And the reason we do that is so we can differentiate between just single notes and chords. So, again, we have the E minor, which is 1 chord. D is the flat 7 major. Same shape here for C, which is the flat 6 major. Then we have B minor, which is the 5 minor. Then we have A minor, which is the 4 minor. Then we have the G major, which is the flat 3 major. And then finally we have the 2 chord, which is a diminished chord. And then we're back to E minor again, but then I just did the scale run until we got to this open E string. And I'm just going down, it's like a G major shape. Most of you will know it as a G major 3-note per string scale, but since all the notes are related to this root E, it's basically, you can see it as the 3rd position of an E minor scale as well. So I only picked the first note, the rest is all left hand. I'm still muting though with the right hand, so if you see my right hand, still tracking here, because otherwise, you would end up with a lot of extraneous noise if you're unlucky. Now, obviously, it's a good idea to reverse this as well. Then you can start here. So the same shape that we did here, but 1 octave lower. And then just go up instead. So you have 1 minor, 2 diminished, 3 flat 3 major, 4 minor, 5 minor, flat 6 major, flat 7 major, and then 1 minor again. So try that as well. But this order then is going to be the same for any of the related modes. It's just going to be a different starting chord. So I'm not going to go through all that now, but for example, the relative major of E minor is G. So if we take exactly the same progression like we did now, we just went up, but I start from G, and instead of calling this the flat 3 major, I'm calling this the 1 chord now, right? So we got 1 major, A minor becomes 2 minor, B minor becomes 3 minor, C becomes 4 major, D becomes 5 major, E minor becomes 6 minor, and then we have F sharp diminished, which becomes 7 diminished. And we're back to G again. So as you can see here, the order was the same. We just moved the 1 chord to another spot, and then every other chord then would be a different part of the order. Because if E minor is 1, then F sharp diminished would be 2, and G would be flat 3 in relation. But when we put it here on G major instead, so G is 1, then A minor becomes 2, B minor becomes 3, and so on. So hopefully that makes sense to you. But what I'm trying to say here is that you learn this order, and then if you want to figure out what the chords are in any of the other related modes, for example Lydian, so in this case the Lydian would start on C, so then C would be 1 in Lydian, then you have a 2 major chord, and then you have a 3 minor chord, and so on. So the order will still be the same, but the numbers would change to reflect that. Don't be confused about this. The only thing you need to do is learn the arpeggios and the chords in the order we did it now, in E minor, and stick with that information for a while, and maybe try yourself, like, oh, I wonder if I will go 1, 4, 5 in E minor, what chords would that be? Oh, it would be E minor is 1, A minor is 4, B minor is 5, and so on. So you can sort of test yourself like that. But as long as you have the order down, that will help you a lot when you learn other things on top of this stuff. But it's no rush. It's just important to get it down on the instrument at the same time, because then you have something concrete to relate it to. Because otherwise, it can be easy to be quite lost on the instrument, because you don't know, it's just a bunch of patterns, so you don't see how everything relates. So that's very important that you put a name on the things that you're working on. There's nothing wrong with learning theory, so don't be scared of that stuff. It won't make you less creative. Like they say, how can you break the rules if you don't know the rules to begin with? And it's not really rules, it's just tendencies in the music. And also, all theory is putting names on sounds. And if you have a name on a specific sound, you will recognize it much easier the next time you hear it. And that's how you develop your ears at the same time. Back in the day, I used to have real issues with fast alternate picking when it came to 2 notes per string. I was fine with 3 notes per string, but the 2 notes per string thing was a bit harder to crack. So if you struggle with fast alternate picking as well, and you don't know what to practice or for how long, I created the perfect solution for you in the form of the Pentatonic Picking Power Book. So in this book, you'll find a daily workout that will not only help your pentatonic picking, but will also upgrade your overall alternate picking technique. So it contains basically the same exercises I used myself to develop my picking abilities, as well as numerous students over the years that I've given the same exercise to with great results. So I know these exercises work as long as you put in the work. So it's not a quick solution or quick fix. It will still take a lot of work, but at least you have a very easy to follow routine. So if you're up for a big alternate picking upgrade in 2024, I cannot think of a better start. It's $9 and I think it's very underpriced, but I did it that way just so as many people as possible could be helped by this. So check that out.